I give everyone a copy. There, thank you. Yeah. If you don't mind, just the carrots one. So, we're holding Perek Yud. We're holding Perek Yud. And those that are learning 3 Prakim Rambam are being Messiah right now, Sefer Hamado. Sefer Hamado, very Geschmack Sefer. Unfortunately, it's not learned that much. Pardon me, yeshivas are not learned that much. But it's really a Geschmack Sefer. To learn it from cover to cover, verb plus, to learn Hilchos Yisodat Torah, to learn Hilchos Talmud Torah, to learn Hilchos Teshuvah, Hilchos Deis.
A little bit of Talmud. Hilchos Talmud.
All piece.
We learned like pieces of it.
And you learn the whole Sefer Hamad.
Just
You get from the Hagdama until the last line, you get an unbelievable picture of what's going on. So, so you know what? Let's first look in the Hilchos Teshuvah, and then we'll do the Tanya. So those that are learning 3 Prakim, this is what they're learning today. So let's read quickly over here. Even though the Rambam Hilchos Teshuvah is 10 Prakim, and even though the Rambam 10 Prakim Hilchos Teshuvah is a very geschmack and read very easy, but it doesn't mean there isn't an unbelievable oimek, lifnei oimek, lifnei oimek, lifnei oimek. Okay. I remember once hearing a shir from Rav Soloveitchik, and he said that yeah. No, I'm audio. No, I'm too young to. But he said that his Zayda was noyeg.
I encourage you to listen to this year.
Yes, I know he had a whole bunch of shiurim. But he said that his Zayda had a minig, Aseres Teshuvah, to learn the Rambam, Hilchos Teshuvah. It was 10 Prakim. So he would learn 1 perek every day of Aseres Teshuvah. Azet Reb Chaim Geton Teshuvah. Okay? Well, let's go quickly. You don't have to learn it with every Reb Chaim. Macher shenoide matan schoren shel mitzvahs. The last 2 Prakim, Perek Tes, Perek Yud. Macher shenoide matan schoren shel mitzvahs hatev shenitzkalayim shemaranu devrach Hashem hakosim b'Torah chai olam haba. We know that what's the schar of mitzvahs is chai olam haba. That's the ultimate schar, not chai olam hazeh. Shenemar l'manita v'loch v'rachta yamim. And Chazal say that it's in a place which is Yom Shekula Tov Aruch. Okay. Anakama. Right. Anakama. Shenoik min anashim ka'oz v'aruch tzedek tzuvas b'Torah he koris. The ultimate revenge time is koris that they don't have this olam haba. Koris the koris anefesh rei avoyin abam. Ezeh shekosa b'chol Torah kula im tishma yigilachem kach im lo tishma lo'eskim kach. If the main thing, the ultimate punishment is the lack of olam haba, and the ultimate of reward is olam haba, so why does the Torah say about gishmeichem b'itam, not gishmeichem, and all kinds of materialistic rewards or punishment? Koloisin advorim ba'olam hazeh kegoin soiva v'rav v'malchama v'shalom v'malchus v'shiflus v'shivas aretz v'golus v'atzlach v'ma'aseh avseide chol Shor v'shor kol divrei avis. That's not the ultimate. Kol not one emes hoyu v'yiyu. What's the pshat? Man shon oisem kol ha-mitzvahs ha-toyre yagiu alein ha-toyves ha'olam hazeh. When we do the mitzvahs, we will be zeichlet to have the toiv of olam hazeh.
Tzaddik b'toiv.
Nicht, it's a toiv, yes. Toiv, afilo nishken has that tzaddik in Tanya. When a person does the mitzvahs, he has toiv es olam hazeh, bezman shono oivrim, Allein b'dikreno yisano aros ksuvas. Afi b'chein. Eno is not tovis im seif mat mitzchorish al mitzvahs. Velois na aros on seif and from a shenek b'ma ever al kol mitzvahs. Alakach ho echere kol advonim. This is the pshat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu nosan lano teure zu eitz chaim. V'chol ha'oise kol ha'kotsu ba v'yoyde de gemur in achayna zeicha ba l'chaylam ba ulfigoydel maise v'reif chachmotso zeicha. V'iftichonu ba teure shemnas oise b'simcha b'teivas hanefesh v'nege b'chachmotso tamid. The Eibishter promised that if a Yid learns Torah and learns Torah b'simcha, and he learns it with b'teirasa yega tamid, will take away any barriers from not be able to learn Torah. What are the barriers? You go on chayli, alchama, road, person being sick, there's a war, a famine. And it will give us all the good that strengthens our hands to do the Torah. Go on, soiva, b'shalom, v'di b'kesef azov. He'll give us peace, he'll give us an abundance of gold and silver, satisfaction. Kedei shelo yinaseku yimenu b'dvarim she'atzkuf tzarech lahem. Ela neishev pnuyim lilmed b'chochma v'lasas hamitzvos kedei sheniske l'chayel mabah. That this way we could spend our life in order to be zoiche to get chayel mabah. V'chein ho'ema b'Torah, as the Rambam will say soon, if a person is sick, he has to go to the doctor. Person Nebach has no food to eat and he's trying to find food. At that time, he's not learning Torah. So the Eibishter said that he'll make that a Yid that learns Torah will not be sick, and will have arichas yom, and will have shalom in his country, and will have food in his pantry. And kol zelama, in order that to take away all barriers, that he should be able to sit and learn Torah yom and v'layla, and through this learning Torah, he'll be zeich l'chaylam haba. Kein Omer b'Torah. Achar she'ivtiach b'teivas ha'olam hazeh v'tzedakah tהיה לנו. וכן הדיונו b'Torah shemnazav ha'Torah medas. Willingly, if a person stops learning Torah, v'nasek b'havli azman, and he starts getting busy with the vanity of contemporary time. Kinyan shenemar v'yishman Yeshurun ve'yivet, like the pasuk says that Yeshurun got fat, and he started, and he kicked. Exactly. Shadaino emes yosir kol ha'oizvim kol toivas ha'olam hazeh shem chisku yudeim leave it. So the Eibishter said, the person got fat and he kicked because he got fat. So you know what? Let's take away the fatness from him. Umevi alem kol ha'roes. It brings all the roes to the person. Maliknois. Yeah.
No, I saw it.
It's all there. Okay, fine. So that's the pshat. Going back to the line. Leave it. Maybe that they should get lost in their issues, that they will not have time to learn Torah and do mitzvahs. Pshat, the barachas and the klalas is not that the baracha is the reward and the klala is the punishment. The baracha is not the reward. The klala is not the punishment. The pshat is al derech zu. This is the pshat. If you serve the Eibishter with simcha, u'shmartem darkei, mashpia lechem habrachas ha'elo marchik ha'klalas ad shete pnuyim לישחקם בתורה ולעסק בו, כדי שתזכו לחיי העולם הבא וייטב לך. That the Eibishter will, when a Yid learns Torah, a Yid wants to do mitzvah, so the Eibishter takes away, calls far away, he brings the barachas very close to him. He fills up his pantry with food. He gives him good health. And this way a person has the time, he's ponui. Lischakim b'Torah. How could a person think a tifah pshat in a toisvus if he has a headache? So the Eibishter takes away the headache, as l'kenim trachten a toisvus. And through that, when he's learning Torah and doing the mitzvahs, he's yoich l'chaylam above, yitav l'ch, loylam shkula tev v'tarach yom, loylam shkula orach. And that's pshat. Yitav l'ch doesn't mean in this world. Tarech Yomim doesn't mean in this world. It means Yitav Loch Loilam Shkulei Toiv, but Tarech Yomim Loilam Shkulei Orech. V'nimtza Zoichim L'shnei Elamas. So the net result is that a person is Zoichet to both worlds. Chaim Tovim B'Olam Hazeh. He ends up having good life in this world. Mavim L'chayim Haba. Shem Lo Yikne Poi Chochma Ma'asim Tovim. If he doesn't acquire in this world Chochma Ma'asim Tovim, Ein Lo B'Mad Yiska. He has nothing to be Zoichet Ma'abo with. He has to be Zoichet through the Chochma Ma'asim Tovim in this world. Shenemek Ein Ma'asim V'Cheshbon V'Daz V'Chochma V'Shoil. Then when a person is in the next world, he can acquire Chochma. V'im azavtim es Hashem shegisam ha'meichel v'bishtav znus v'katayim v'amei v'aleichem kol ha'klolos u'meiza kol ha'brochis sheyichlu yemeichem b'holo pachet v'lo yeh lechem leiponu v'leiguf sholem lasas ha'mitzvos. Through that, the person will be toiv d'machayim ha'mabah v'nimtzu shavadtim shnei elamas שבזמן שאדם תורד בעולם הזה בחולי, במלחמה או בריובן, אין מסעסק לא בחוכמה ולא במצווס, שבהם זויכים לחק מבא. The Rambam is very clear and very geschmack. Okay, so bottom line, Aloch Alef, the Rambam says that the brachas and the klolas, the brachas is not the ultimate of reward, and the Gashmis, the Klolos, is not the ultimate punishment. The brachas allow the person to be poni b'toyre v'chachmasa, to be acquiring ma'asim toive, and the klola is that the person has a headache, the person is sick, the person lives in a place of famine, in a time of machama, and he doesn't have time to focus on limud Torah and kiyum mitzvahs. But the ultimate of punishment is the lack of olam haba. The ultimate of reward is olam haba. That's tzalach alef, locha beis. Because of this truth, because of this fact, all the Yidden have an unbelievable yearning, a taiva, a desire to see the days of Mashiach. Why? Because they want to rest and not have to deal with the countries that don't let them learn Torah and do mitzvahs properly. In order to have quiet respite, and they should be able to increase the learning, the wisdom of Torah. In the days of Mashiach, there will be an abundance of Deya, Chochma, and Emes, that the Deis Hashem will be filled the world. It says in the Pasuk, that there will be such an abundance of Chochma that everyone can understand the Torah himself. He'll not need the help of his friend. And it says in the Pasuk, I will take away from you the heart of rock. I'm going to give you a heart of flesh. The king that's going to stand up, he's going to be from the seed of David HaMelech. He's going to be Baal Chokma Yeser Mishloima. His wisdom will be more than Shloima. The Navi Godel who Korev LeMoshe Rabbein.
But not like Moshe.
But not like Moshe.
Wow.
When it comes to Chochma, which Chazal say Chochma Odef Min Navi, there's a certain mile on Chochma of a Navi, and that he's going to have an edge. But in the views, there's never going to be anyone bigger than Moshe Rabbeinu. He's going to teach all the Jewish people the Derech Hashem. Not only that, the nations of the world will also come to hear what he has to teach. That all of the nations of the world are going to come to hear the way Mashiach will teach Torah. But what's the ultimate of all schar? That's not Yemais Mashiach. Chayel Mabah. The Yemais Mashiach Chayel Mazeh. I don't come in Haganoi. Elo Shamalchus Tachzer Yisrael. That the kingdom will come back to the Jewish people. Lamu Chacham Rishonim Ein Belam Azel Amelim Yemais Mashiach Shibud Malchi Belabar.
Machlokes in the Rambam and the Ramban.
Two big machloikas in here. The main machloikus is the Rambam and the Ramban, which we spoke about the other night. The Rambam holds the Moshe Mashiach is not the Seif Aschar.
Even Mashiach, but Rachman says, even Mashiach will be lifted.
The Rambam says everyone's going to be nifter. Everyone is going to be nifter. Everyone's going to be zoichet to the ultimate schar, which is neshama below guf.
If a person is lifted by Moshe Mashiach, his din and leil would be much easier, no?
The Rambam says that's the ultimate. However, the Ramban says no. Cared. The ultimate of schar is coming to learn Tanya. So we spoke about it the other night. We spoke about it last night. No. Yeah, last night. It is that even from the Rebbe says, from the Tefillah, and the Rech Hashem L'Kelim B'Elam Hazeh, S'las L'Kelim B'Elam, is built on the Mashiach, and then L'Chal Meshenu, the Tzvias HaMesim, but the ultimate is Tzvias HaMesim, and that's the highest of the four dargahs. Okay. Here, here's a copy. The reason we're doing this is because it has a shaykhs. Oh, Shalom Aleichem.
Mr. Lieberman.
It's shaykhs of what we're Hilchos Teshuvah, but those that are learning Rambam are doing this tonight. I mean, the side Ramada, so we're doing the last two parokim. Hilchos Teshuvah. Okay, Perek Yud. Have a claim. Eli. So in the middle of the page, Hilchos Teshuvah, Perek Yud. Halacha Alef. Al Yemer Adam, a person shouldn't say, Hareini oisem mitzvahs and Torah v'oisek b'chachmotza k'dei she'akabel kol habrachos haksubas bo k'dei she'chesed l'chayim haba. Le'efresh min avedas she'yizir Torah b'hem k'dei she'notzol min haklolos haksubas. Person shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say, I'm going to do the mitzvahs in order to be zoiche to chayim haba. I'll go away from the Vedas. I don't want to have the klolos. I don't want to have the lack of olam haba. Ein roi lavet es Hashem al derech zeh. She'oived al derech zeh hu oived miyire. Ve'ein malas hanavim v'loi malas hachachom. Ve'ein oived in Hashem al derech zeh. People who serve Hashem this way is only Ami Ha'oretz v'anosh v'aktan. She'machan sumo es alaved miyire ad she'tarbe de'asam v'yavdu mi'av. This is what the Rambam has a little bit of a different Adar, Ava v'yire. Yire means fear, Ava means love. If a person wants to be zoichet to Olam Haba, that's called yire. If a person is not interested to be zoichet to Olam Haba, it's called Ava. Ha'oived me'ava, oisik b'toyre uve'mitzvahs v'hoilach b'nasivas ha'chachma, v'loi mipnei dava b'olam. ולא מפני ירס הרע, ולא כדי לירש הטויבה, אלא אויסו אמס מפני שהוא אמס. וסויב הטויבה לא בגלול. ומעלה זו, מעלה גדולה מיועד. This is an unbelievable mile. ואין כל חוכם זויכל לזה, ומעלס אברהם אבינו. This is the mile of אברהם אבינו ממש. שקורא הקדוש ברוך הוא אוהב לפי שעובד אלא מאב, ואם מיילה שציוונו בה הקדוש ברוך הוא, על ידי מוישה, שנאמר ואהבת את השם מלכך. בזמן שיהיה אבודם Is Hashem Abba Ruya Miyad Kriyasa Kol HaMitzvos Miyad. Okay. Said we're not going to learn the Rambam with Reb Chaim. It's fourth. You need salt and pepper in this Rambam. The Rebbe has a beer nifla. A beer nifla. The Rambam, Perek Tes and Perek Yud is a blatant contradiction. And Halacha Alef and Halacha Beis is also a blatant contradiction. Sastira Minei Obey. In Perek, the whole Perek test says that the ultimate of schar and oynish is not the material good or bad, not the brachas and the klalas. That's only to get you there. The ultimate of schar and oynish is olam haba, the lack of olam haba. Umipnei zeh nisavu kol Yisrael niviyayim v'chachamim l'mais Mashiach. Why? They should be able to have the relaxation to learn Torah mitzvahs. Okay? Next Perek, the Rambam says, if that's what you're doing, you're like the Ktanim and the Noshim of the Ami Oretz. You're serving the Eibishter Me'ira Loi Me'ava. Hey, wait a minute. You just told me that Mipnei Zen Nisabu Kol Yisrael Niviyayim V'chachameim Limos Mashiach. Why? To have tranquility in order to learn Torah and do mitzvahs to be Zoich L'chayim Haba. Now you're telling me in the next payday that no, that's not the ultimate. That's for Amiyot, it's Noshim Ketanim. What's going on over here? Well, she doesn't like the Pshat in the Rambam? No? It's a Geschmack in Rambam. Okay. Right. So that's Stira number 1. Stira number 2 is Halacha Alef, Halacha Beis. Halacha Alef, he says that there's women, there's Ketanim, Amoritz. You can't talk to them about serving Hashem Ba'ahava. Okay? But the Mordechai Klein, versteht sich, I can talk to them about serving Hashem Ba'ahava. Yeah? It's mashma. The Amoritz, Noshim Ketanim, not. What? The Gedolim, yeah? Then the Halacha Beis, when he talks about Avos Hashem, he says, "Ooh, Avram Avinu." This was the mindless Avram Avinu. Isn't there something between Noshim Ketanim and Avram Avinu? Now, Halacha Alef, he says, "Avoid me'ir is Noshim Ketanim. Ava, me and you could do me'ava." Okay, very good. Next halacha, he says, "Avoid me'ava is Avram Avinu." Where me? Where me and you? Where do we stand? The Rebbe has a beer nifla. The Rebbe says like this. For sure, the ultimate is Olam Haba. The question is, why does a person want Olam Haba? He wants Olam Haba as a schar, or he wants Olam Haba because he wants to be Dovek in the Eibishter. Why does he want Olam Haba? We're not asking about a person that wants to have pizza and ice cream. That's the Ketanim. He doesn't want the brachas and klolos. He wants Olam Haba. Why does he want Olam Haba? He wants it in order to enjoy Olam Haba, or he wants it in order because that's the ultimate of Dveikus with the Eibishter. The Rebbe says, I give you even an afkamina. Right. The Rambam says in Perek Tes, the tzaddikim yoshvim v'atoreseim b'rosheim. What does it mean? They're sitting with a crown on their head. It means the union of chokhmah, it surrounds them like a crown. And ein lehem menucha. The Rebbe says a beautiful word. If a person is in a situation where he's now, I'm pampering myself. Going to the beach. I was teaching. Megate in Florida. Okay? So.
Not dacha?
Dacha. Megate of dacha. So, when the person is not trying right now to gain, to grow, there is a person, Chazal say that I have a big koch, in the Kehelos Rabbah, Mishiyesh Lamona, Roitza, Mosai, Mishiyesh Lamosai, said that Kehelos Rabbah says, you're Roitza, Dalad Meyas. Why are you so greedy? You had 100, you wanted 200. So you have 200, say you want 300. No! It's not Teva B'nai Od. It's not Teva. He has 200, now he wants 400. 400, he wants 800. Azoi the Teva. The Rebbe said that Teva, the Eibishter made this Teva. So we always think of it as greedy. Those greedy people on Wall Street. Those greedy guys. Okay. Who asked you to turn that Teva into a greedy Teva? That's the Teva the Eibishter made. That's the Teva that should be used when a person attains something in Kedusha, thank you. They should always want to double. He should always want to double his profits in Kedusha. So if a person, his whole idea of Olam is Mavukish, and Olam Haba is, in order to have Star, so once he's in Olam Haba, why should it be Ein Loi Menucha? That's tough. Menucha. But if his mavukish is, what is he looking for? Why does he want Olam Haba? Why is he misave? Misavu chacham. They had a big taiva. Kamalach nafsh. Why? Because through the Olam Haba he could be Dovak in the Eibishter. He's never going to stop. When he's in Olam Haba Gufa, he's going to want to double and triple and go again, and from 100 to 200 to 200 to 400 and 400 to 800 to Chulu. So, true, we're not talking about a person that has a taiva for material kololo bracha. Within spiritual, within the mevukish of Olam Haba, what is he looking for? He's looking at Olam Haba as vacation. That's Florida. Now we're going to relax. Or is it Yelcho Mechayel Al Choyim? Ein lahem menucha loyla v'olam hazeh v'loylam haba. The reason why Chachamim ben Nevi'im wanted Yimoisa Mashiach is not because of the star Shabazeh. It's because the Dveikus Shabazeh. There can be David Kut Eibishter. What could be better than that? Toch the beste Sache in the Welt? That me and you could get to. That's Adarge, me, you, every Jew could get to. And then there's a big mila, which is Milas Avram Avinu. That's not everyone gets there so quick. What's Milas Avram Avinu? He doesn't want Olam Haba because to be Dovek in the Eibishter. There's no Mevukish. He wants to do mitzvahs, but the Eibishter geheißen to tam mitzvahs. He wants to be in Olam Haba because the Eibishter wants him to be in Olam Haba. He's not looking because of the Dveikus. He's not looking for the Dveikus. He's not looking for the Dveikus. That is a moidetike. That's something that only Avram Avinu and every Yid, which is Aben Avram Yitzchak Yaakov, is told that this is something you could aspire to. That's why the Rambam brings it la'aloch. It was not relevant for me and you that Rambam wouldn't talk about it. Forget the Rebbe says. Avram Avinu had it in the pneumius that we could have, that Alter Rebbe says, there's Ava and Ava la'soisa. Tanya learned that there is the Ava and the Ava la'soisa. That Ava of Avram Avinu, maybe it's hard to get to, but the Ava la'soisa, we could touch. So basically you have your three levels according to the Rebbe. A person wants Olam Haba. He's not looking for Olam Haza. He's looking for Olam Haba as a reward. This is Menucha, this is Florida. That is Noshim Uktanim V'amei Haaretz. Then he's looking for Olam Haba because he wants to be Dovek in the Eibishter. Me, you, and every Jew could do that. That's expected from every Yid. Then there is a Yid that he wants Olam Haba not because through that he'll be Dovek in the Eibishter. He wants Olam Haba because that's what the Eibishter wants. And that is a tough one. And that's Milas Avram Avinu. And the Rambam is Moisef, that a person, the Rambam is Moisef, that a person that does this is Soifa Toiva Lova Beglola. What's the pshat? That when a person is Milas Avram, he's going to have a deeper dveikus. He's going to end up having a deeper dveikus in the Eibishter. The Rebbe says that this was a beer that Rebbe gave when they started doing the Rambam, the Rebbe's Takona 40 years ago. This was a beer that Rebbe gave in the first cycle of learning Rambam. We're now 40 years since the Rebbe started the thing of learning Rambam. The Rebbe said a beer nifla with this about the Meraglim. The Meraglim were bad people. The Siddur says that the Meraglim wanted to learn Torah and have dveikis and the Eibishter. The Rebbe says, you see, even Apidin, how do you know that an Ada is 10 people? We learn it from the Meraglim. They were such bad people. Why do we learn that a Dovish and a Gedusha? Elamai, because the Meraglim really, is that they had a moidedik thing. They wanted to be Dovik and the Eibishter. If they were that bad, if they attack it, they died. Emes. They want to see him. But the Eibishter made that they lived till 60. So the 60-year-olds, they lived. They weren't punished. They didn't live a miserable life for the next 40 years. They ate the man, they drank, they ate a shalminium, they had Hanani COVID. They weren't punished in a way that they lived a miserable life. They didn't have a miserable end. They lived a shorter life. They lived till 60. They live a good life. What they asked is what they got. They said they wanted to stay in the midbar. They wanted to be protected. Siddur says they said they didn't want to get busy with Adam, Chodesh, V'Zoreya. They didn't want to get busy working 9 to 5. They didn't want to work.
They would lose their nefes. They would lose the nefes.
That's one shot. Siddur says they didn't want to lose their dveikus. They didn't want to lose their dveikus. And the Rebbe says that in a way they were right. They didn't want to lose their dveikus. And the Rebbe said, if you think about it, they weren't punished in the harshest way. And the truth is, the 12 Nesim did, because they were Moitzediba, but the Yidden, they were not punished in a way that they lived a miserable life. They still had a Nani COVID, and they had the Beis Sheminim, and they had the Man, they had Moshe Rabbeinu.
Well, they were Golf. They could have been.
And that's what they wanted. They wanted to be in the midbar. They wanted to stay in the midbar. Elamite, it says the Oimek and Akuda is that they were looking for dveikus. They were looking for dveikus. They had a mavukish. They were looking for dveikus. Asha'enkin Yeshua and Kolob that said, Toiva ha'oretz me'oid me'oid. That we should do the emes, glal shu emes. Our doing mitzvahs is not because we want to be dveikus. Because if you're looking for dveikus, you'll have much more dveikus in the midbar. If you're looking for dveikus, you'll have much more dveikus in the Nana Kovid and the Man and the Beis Shemirim. You'll have much more dveikus. Yeshua B'Kolev or Masig, the level of Avram Avinu. We choose not looking for dveikus. We're not looking for dveikus. That's what, because the Chof it's Hashem Bono. That's what the Eibush is chayfetz. That's what the Eibush wants. And the emissaries through that will be Ma'oid Ma'oid. Our dveikus will even be stronger. But not because we're looking for dveikus. We're looking because that's what the Eibush wants. With this, you understand the Oimek HaSipur about Maram Rottenberg. There's a Chassidish story. They say it. Some say it in the name of this mashpia, that mashpia. Some say it in the name of the Chidusharim. The story is a Geshmak story. In fact, once when we finished the Rambam, one of the cycles, and Sigivendor of Avram Shur, which is Rosh Adar Shonim B'chol Mokim, and he sat right here and he told the story that Maram Rottenberg was Nebuch sitting in his prison for many, many years, and he was sniffed in prison, and the Germans, Mashimon, kept his body, just like the Rishonim now are doing, and the Maram didn't want that they should ransom him because if they ain't paid him,
his story is an unpaid ransom.
Yeah. And
I read that book. I didn't know.
It's an unbelievable story.
He didn't allow them to.
He didn't allow them. Right.
Right.
Shaklavatari has so many chuvas about this. Sadly, in the last year and a half, the sugya has been revisited by many people, looked at again and again. So, what happened was, finally there was a Yid, Alexander Wimpman, that said enough is enough. He was a rich man. He lived in Worms, and he went to the king, and he paid the entire ransom, me'atzmai.
I didn't want.
Because he didn't want to collect it from the community. And he went, and he paid me'atzmai, and he took the body of the Maram, he brought it to Worms, Ki Losoi, and he buried it in the Beis HaChaim. That night, he had a dream. But the Maram came to him. The Maram said, "You did such an unbelievable thing for me. What would you like? I give you a choice. You could live ba'osher or b'choved. I'm going to double your ashidus, and you'll have arichas yomim with good health. That's one brach. Alternatively, you could be imi b'mechitzasi. The Maram said you could be with me straightening an egg. But if that's the option, you got to do it right away. Yeah. So he said he wants to be with the Maram. He woke up in the morning, told his family, and Kachava, that day he passed away. They buried him right next to the Maram. If you go today, there is a stone, the Maram, and then the Rebbe Alexander Windman, the stone is like one stone. The Rebbe Alexander's is a little bit broken in the side. I was there many, many years ago with my wife, 26, 27 years ago. And there was a German, Yimach Shemoy, and he told me that his friend was a professor at the university, and he convinced the Germans not to destroy this Beis HaChaim, explained the importance of the Maram. He said, Maram was not important. Exterminating Jews was important to stop, not the destruction of the Beis HaChaim. And I walked away. I wasn't going to let him, have any or whatever. I just walked over. I davened. I went to other kfarim over there that were Adar leil. A little bit of the story is carved in the stone, but it's very hard to read it. It's a very old stone. Hat gesagt, the story was told by Reb Shmuel Groinem, Mashpil Lubavitch. I was saying the name of Chadusharim, could have been both said the same.
Yeah.
That if this Yid lived, this Yid, that Alexander Windman, if he'd lived after the Zman of the Baal Shem Tov, he would choose the other thing. To be in this world for another minute, to be able to get stuck at the Quran film, it's much more worth than all of them Haba.
Mm-hmm.
I think people sometimes hear this story, yeah.
One second. A bird in the bush is better than two. Bird in the hand is better than two in the bush.
Well, always.
Was tegen de Bibel Chitzasi, was man will men. If the Balatani would have came to someone in a dream, if the Baal Shem labeled, what would you gesagt, ja, ich will gehen?
Yeah.
So was?
Don't the Chazal say that one Shah Achas to do a mitzvah is better than
Here,
the whole?
I think here is the Nakuda.
And then you have the pitfalls of Olam Haba.
Right?
What about if a person's not sure?
Here's the part.
Person's not.
If a person was looking for Dveikus, the guy made the right choice. But if the person was looking Milas Avram, because what does the Eibishter want? The Eibishter wants that a Yid should be an Hashama Beguf and do as many mitzvahs as he could and learn as much Torah as he could an Hashama Beguf.
Taka fulfilled the mitzvah of redeeming a captain. That's a mitzvah.
This is, anyway, to summarize the Rebbe's Biur.
So the Rebbe seems to hold stuck in that way.
No, I'm just connecting.
What was the guy trying to?
He was trying to brag. I don't know why you would think that a Jew...
Brag that they killed the Jew?
No, that they preserved the cemetery.
Yeah. Unlike the rest of the Jewish things they destroyed, that they deserve a Yashikoach.
Yeah, he thought I would tell him. He thought I would tell him Yashikoach.
I think Hitler and Mach Shemoy's plan was to leave the whole city of worms.
No, Prague.
Prague. Somewhere in that area.
Prague was a plan.
Because after the Third Reich, he had to show the world there was such a being, such a nation called Jews.
Prague. That was Prague, not worms.
Okay, I remember something.
Let's read quickly till the end. Kate Sadi, Ha'ava. Do we have a minute?
Yeah.
You do?
You have a
Baruch Hashem.
question with Kerstin, Kerstin till come down.
And two more.
Yeah, Kerstin.
Oh.
We have 10.
Okay, so
Yeah.
We have exactly 10.
Okay.
you need one.
So you know what? Let's stop at this. Nigma Sefer Rishon, Sefer Amada, and Mazel Tov for the Siyum of the Rambam in general, which we recently had. The Mazel Tov for the Siyum of Amada, Sefer Amada. Lena, the next week we'll continue. We're holding in Perek Yud in the Geras Teshuvah. Maybe shall help. We should make a Siyum with the Golos. We should take a Bizoicha, the Yemois HaMashiach, and even if our Mevukish at this moment is not on the highest level, like Milas Avram Avinu, and maybe it's not like even Milas of a regular Yid, but the Mavukish is Dveikis Bashem, and even if it's on the lowest level. With Akaponim, we should be Zoiche to have Yemoisa Mashiach taken from me at Navish, we Molor, it's Deis Hashem, Kamayim Elayom Echasim.
Amen. Shkoyach.
Thank you, John. It's mitzvah.
Yeah. Not now. It's late for me to eat heavy stuff. It'll keep me up. But I'll take it home. I'll have some it's an earlier time than 10 o'clock at night.
I do.
Yeah.
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 The fire, you can make your.
I try.
Rabbi, I saw your father at a wedding yesterday.
Yes, it's the.
Who's wedding?
It was Wendell Passner and Penny Scholar. That's good. What? He was a Reggie Benson.
So your brother's.
I don't know.
So you have another week to do your brother's casa now.
Me.
Yeah, you're over the next Shabbos already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's walking the Crown Heights with us? You want to go? I think you should try.
Yeah.